Welcome to the African Duchess Show. It airs every month from Monday to Friday from 10 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Central Africa time. And today we've got an exciting topic for our viewers. We'll be speaking on teenage pregnancy. Sorry, mind my voice, it's a bit hoarse today. I've got a bit of a cold. I hope you're all well. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and we're all looking forward to this week's show and episodes. So we're gonna get into the business of today. Um, Teenage pregnancy can be known as adolescent pregnancy, and this is a pregnancy for the females under the age of 20. So I'm sure you all want to know the statistics for the teenage pregnancy in my country. This is the African Duchess Show with Rumbidzai Zopa from Zimbabwe. It's in Southern Africa. So, with the recent stats that were released, teenage pregnancy was at 20% as of 2015. And on this, we are talking about women from the age of 15 to 19 that participated in the survey. So this was 2015. There hasn't been any recent statistics, and now this is 2020. So by estimation, I'm sure the rate of teenage pregnancy has really grown up. Has really grown up. Just a quick rundown through some of the symptoms of pregnancy. You can be a teenager or you can be an adult, but the symptoms are more or less the same. So some of the symptoms or early signs of pregnancy are of the following. You can miss your menstrual cycle. You can have morning sickness, like you vomit in the morning. You can have intense aversion to certain foods. Maybe your cravings for fatty foods, sugar foods, or the food that we're not used to will grow. Also, sore nipples or breasts, unusual fatigue, frequent urination, and unusual mood swings, among others. So, these were some of the symptoms of pregnancy. If you're pregnant and you're tuning in into the show, if you're feeling any of the symptoms I have highlighted, then maybe yeah, you're pregnant. Okay. And today we're gonna discuss on what are the causes of teenage pregnancy as well. So the Duchess is just gonna go through some of the causes of teenage pregnancy. One of them is lack of information about sexual and reproductive health and rights. Also, inadequate access to services tailored for young people. Family, community, and social pressures can also lead to teenage pregnancy. Sexual violence can also lead to teenage pregnancy. Forced marriages, which can be a cause and a consequence, as well, can lead to teenage pregnancy. And also peer pressure. Also, some do say that the desire of a child can lead to teenage pregnancy. Please note, today we're talking about teenage pregnancy. We are talking about teenage pregnancy, and this is the African Judges Show. So, to my guests, can you please unmute your mics? I can see that your mics are muted. Can you please unmute your mics? Okay. So, today we brought in a guest, Cindy. So, can you please see your picture? Can you please turn on your video? Okay. So today we brought in a guest who is a teenager and would like to share their life story because she is now a mother at 17, 16 or 17. I'm not so sure. And she's going to answer a few questions from me and also Cindy. We introduced Cindy last week on the mental health and nutrition show. So Cindy is a nutritionist and she is quite versed in nutrition and also in the medical field. She's a bit versed in the medical field as well. So she'll be joining us today on the issues to do with teenage pregnancy. So on the guest list, we have Cindy who is a nutritionist, and we also have Jemima. She calls herself Jemima, and she has experienced teenage pregnancy. She's a teenager and she's pregnant. And she has a baby right now. She gave birth to a beautiful baby. So she's going to give us a bit of a story and what she's been facing. Jemima, can you hear us?
Yes, I can
Hello?
hear you.
You can hear me? Can you just increase your volume a little bit?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, just
Yes, I can
just
hear
increase.
you.
Okay, just
Okay.
increase a little bit.
Now,
Huh?
can
Okay.
you hear
I
me?
think you can you
Can you
can
hear
you
me
can
now?
you can hear us now. Okay, yeah, I can hear you. Cindy, so can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Jemima, we can hear you. Cindy, so can you hear me? Cindy, so are you there? Okay. I'm sure maybe they're having a network problem.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Um, my name is Jemima. As okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jemima, as Rumbiza has said. Um, I got pregnant at a very young age.
Hello, sorry,
So
we can't really hear you. You're breaking up. You're breaking up. We can't hear you. Can you hear me now?
I found out just and
Hello?
sorry,
Hello?
just I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can't hear you like
Yes,
from the
Rimbi, I can hear
beginning
you. Can you
because
hear
we
me?
already want. No, we can't hear you.
Okay.
Can you please start afresh your life story so that people can all hear you? Right now, we can't hear you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But you need to really restart because we can't hear you. Cindy, so are you there?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Um, Good evening, everyone. My name is Jemima, as Rumbiza has said. I got pregnant last year, and I was 16 at that time. Um, sorry, I don't know what to say, but anyway, I got pregnant at that time, and I was really young, and I just found out just around the time when I was about to write my Zim 6 exams. So it, honestly, I really got stressed. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know who to tell. But luckily, I found out when I was with my friend. So she's the one who helped me to tell my sister about the situation that I was in. And my sister is the one who helped me to tell my mom. Honestly, it was an easy part because my mom is a pastor, and having your daughter, hearing that your daughter is pregnant for the position that you have in church, and I was really popular at school. I was basically popular almost like everywhere, like in South Autumn where I stay. So it was really hard because you know the so I wrote my exams, but I was really stressed. I couldn't focus anymore. I wasn't reading. I used to get in my exams just stressed out because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought that my word has ended. And there's a time that came, I really wanted to remove it because when I told my baby daddy, he denied it. He said that I was lying, and he started shaming me in the middle of the street, and he was shouting and he was just saying a lot of words, a lot of hurtful words, and he was swearing. He was saying that I was a mover and stuff, and he had every right to say that because at that time we'd broken up, and I'd gotten back together with my current boyfriend right now. So things had gotten tough that time. So um as I stated, I had the thought of removing it. And as I was in the process, I had actually gotten the money and everything else. Then on the day that I was supposed to meet with my friends, they ditched me. And I was stranded because they're like, we can't get involved with you. We can't be involved with you removing your pregnancy because there's so many risks with that. So I just went on the internet to search about the risks of removing pregnancy. So as I was reading them, I got so scared and I was like, what if I die? What if I'm not able to give birth again? You know, those thoughts came into my mind, and then I was just like, you know what? Let me keep the baby. I don't care about what people are going to say. I just have to be strong for myself and the child. So that's when I took a step forward. Um, so after that, about 2 weeks later, that's when my sister broke the news to my mom, telling me that I was pregnant. And it didn't go really well because she went to the police. She was so mad. She thought that the guy had forced me into sleeping with him, but then that wasn't the case anyway. And pretty much, I think that's what most parents would think. So that's what happened. And during the time I was pregnant, most of my friends left me because we were now different. Things were now changing. I was I was now becoming a mother, and now I am a mom. So the levels were now different. Um, so I was all alone. But then I had my family to support me, but still, I needed my friends because as a teenager, there's some things that you can't share with your sister or with your family. Those things you can only share them with your friends because they're the people you think can understand you more and better. So I lost everyone, honestly, and it was really a rough road. But thanks to my family, they had my back. So when my brothers got to know that I was pregnant, they took me to the guy's house, and whew, it didn't go well. He shouted at them. He was so disrespectful towards them, and they got mad and was refusing that it was his because he was saying that I'm a mover. So we had to go to get a scan just to prove if what he was saying was true, because he was estimating that if it was his, it was going to be 5 months, and it was his, so it was 5 months at that time. So we went to take a scan, and it confirmed that I was 5 months pregnant. Um, And when we got back, my brothers left me there to stay with them, because in our African culture, if you get pregnant, you go and stay with you go and stay at the guy's place so that they take full responsibility of the damage that they have caused. So whilst I was staying there, um, yeah, I forgot to mention that it's a Khaled family, says Khaled. Whilst I was staying there, ish, it was really tough. I don't want to lie. I struggled. Sorry.
You can go on. We're listening.
I heard someone talking. Or anyway, whilst I was staying there, um, I struggled to 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 cope up with their lifestyle, because you know, okay, coloreds, they smoke a lot and they drink a lot, and pretty much disrespectful. So they never used to respect me in that house. They never used to give me food. They never allowed me to clean the house or wash the plates, because they believed that um, in our black culture, we they thought that I would bewitch them. So it happens that um, a girl can bewitch a guy to like them. It's called isn't it the love potion, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, something like that. So they never allowed me to cook, and they used to hide their food. So basically, I'd spend like the whole day hungry, waiting for them to cook, because they never allowed me to cook. So I would wait for them to cook, and after they're done cooking, at times they would even forget to serve me food, and I have to starve maybe up until the next morning and go to my mom's place and ask for food. It was really embarrassing. It was now starting to hit me that I was wrong. So they used to eat very spicy foods that you can't even help yourself even by water, because it used to be really spicy. And they used to smoke a lot, and you know that smoke is not good for a pregnant woman. So I used to stay in that environment. Imagine, they used to smoke and everything else. And when you're being taken to a guy's house, they give you a blanket, because um, you go with a blanket because you're not married. So that's how they did here. So sometimes when I'd go out with my friends, when I come back home, I'd maybe see my baby dead with another girl on the bed that I sleep on, you know, and I'll be forced now to stay maybe in the lodge until they're done doing their stuff. So imagine that we never used to love each other, but then as a pregnant woman, I expected him to at least respect me as his baby mama, but then he never used to do that. So maybe I'll stay up in the lounge for like 8 hours, and maybe get into the room now at 2 a.m. And all that time I'll be sleeping on the couch. Maybe the time when I'll have gotten home, um, they'll not have served some food for me. So yeah, I'll have to starve until the next morning again. So that's how things were when I was pregnant. But then later on, I moved back to my mom's place because I couldn't take it anymore. Oh yeah, and I don't eat pork, but then they used to cook pork like all the time when they knew that I didn't eat pork. So imagine all this that I went through staying at his place. So I moved back to my mom's place, and everything went back to normal. But you know how it is when when you know that you've made a mistake, and people out there always remind you of what you've done, because getting pregnant is really a big mistake, especially in our African culture, because um, we believe that you shouldn't get pregnant before you've gotten married, and that's what I did. So it was really tough. Um, Trying to ignore all those words that people used to call me just because I gotten pregnant before I gotten married. So my experience wasn't really a good one, and it's not that experience that I enjoyed. So when I got back to my mom's place, I was around 7 months pregnant, and my mom helped me to register for the birth of my child, and she also helped with some of the stuff along with my sisters and my other relatives. Then eventually I gave birth to my baby girl. Her name is Atara, and I'm so I'm so happy that eventually um, my baby dad decided to come around, because that's when it really hits him that he has a child, he has to step up. So he stepped up as a father, and he's not there like all the time, but then when he can, he's there. So when I gave birth, I they came running to the hospital wanting to confirm if the child is theirs and if the child is colored. And when they came, they were so shocked. The child looks like them, she, she's theirs. She looked exactly like the mom. She looked exactly like the mom, and the mom never used to like me. She used to really hate me. It, it was just something else. So when they confirmed that the child was theirs, that's when they started changing. They started coming around. They started coming to see the child. They started to come with pampers. They started to come with um, lotions and stuff that the baby needed. So basically, that was my experience when I got pregnant. Yeah, over to you, Ruby.
Okay, so that was Jemima, who was telling us her life um, story or her journey
Ruby?
into. Hello? Yes, I was saying that was Jemima who was telling us and giving us a bit of what she experienced in her in a teenage pregnancy, and you can hear what she was facing and everything involved. Jemima, I wanted to find out how are you coping with raising a child currently with everything going on? How are you coping with raising a child at such a young age?
Yeah.
Hello, sorry, we can't hear you. Can you turn up your volume?
Well, I won't lie to you, it's not easy because it's something that's new to my world. And I'm just taking it one day at a Okay, sorry.
Hello,
Okay,
can you
can you
please
now
come
hear
again?
me?
Yeah, we can now hear you.
Hello, can you now hear me? Can you now hear me, Ruby?
Yes,
Hello? Can you hear me?
yes, we can
Can you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yes, there
Okay.
seems to be a bit of a network
As I was
problem.
saying, um, being a mother hasn't been easy as I expected it to be. But I'm really trying to cope up. Okay. Or it's breaking.
Yes.
Okay, they are saying, um, being a mother hasn't been an easy road for me so far, but I'm just taking it slowly, one day at a time, with the help of my family, the help of my mom, my siblings, and some of my relatives, um, and my baby daddy's side. Um, Basically, I can say I'm still trying to adapt to motherhood because but day by day I'm learning new stuff. It's a new experience for me, and the little one keeps learning new stunts every day, and I can see that it's okay. I can't really complain about it because every day I enjoy every single minute of it.
Okay.
It's okay. I can't really complain about it because every day I enjoy every single.
Okay, so we can now hear you. Hello?
Okay. Uh, yes, I was saying that being a mom hasn't been easy as I expected it to be. It hasn't been an easy road for me. Um, so I've been taking it slowly, day by day, one step at a time, and with the help of my family, they've been making it better. And every day you be learning new stuff. Every day there's a new experience, and so basically, I can say it's okay. I can't really complain because I've got some help from everyone that I love and everyone who's around me.
Okay. That's a very positive response coming from Jemima. This is the African Duchess Show, and today the topic is teenage pregnancy. So please, you can feel free to comment on the chat room. And this is an ongoing show from Mondays to Fridays, same time, from 10 to 11:30 Central Africa time. So, today we have a guest who has faced and is experiencing teenage pregnancy at the age of 17. Then, when she got pregnant, was 16. I hope I got that right. And we have a nutritionist who is part of our panel, who is well versed in terms of nutrition and a bit on the medical field as well. So, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the African Duchess Show with your host, Rumbi Zopa from Zimbabwe in Southern Africa. Um, Another question for Jemima. Um,
Yeah.
since you have become a mother, um, please tell us on some of the things that you are missing out or that you are no longer active in. It can be going out. It can be maybe you've lost weight, maybe you've gained weight. Tell us maybe some of the things that you are missing out on because you've had to take up mother duties at such a young age.
Okay. Um, I think you've really stated. Going out, I used to go out a lot, like a lot. I used to really go out. But then now I can't because I have a baby and I have to stay home to be with her. I can't just leave her with anyone. Not that I don't trust my family members, but there's that feeling that I have at times when I want to leave her. That ish, my child, I just can't leave her, you know. So I have to I have to restrict myself from going out. And also I've really lost some weight. Yeah, maybe because I'm breastfeeding. Um, I've really lost a lot of weight. And what else? I used to be a social media person, but now I'm not that active as I was before because it's more of baby time. I'm really finding most of my time is being taken away by my child because I have to focus on her now. I have to I, I don't want to miss every single moment yet she's growing, I think you get what I mean. Because every day is a new experience. So yeah, a lot in my life has really changed. So I
Oh,
think that's what I'm missing out now.
okay, all right. So if you're joining us just now, we are live on the African Duchess Show with your host, Rumbi Zopa from Zimbabwe in Southern Africa. Um, this show is brought to you by the Black Hot Fire Radio Network. And we want to thank you to those who just joined us from the chat room here. We can see you from Singobile, Suko, Moyo. Hey guys, hello. We see you from Jiman, Rumbi, and the Black Hot Fire Network family. Hey, from Samuel. Hey, how are you? We see you. We see you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in to the African Duchess Show. Today, the topic is on teenage pregnancy. And we have one of our guests who was telling us her own personal life experience. And today we have another guest who was Sindiso, who is a nutritionist Our topic today is on teenage pregnancy. I see I see people from the chat room. They are sending in questions and are participating in the show. So one of the questions that just came in from the chat room is, where is the father at? And is he also a teenager? Can you hear me, Jemima? Can you please answer that if you can?
Yes, I can. He is a, he's still a teenager. Yeah, he's still a teenager. He's turning 20 on the 27th of August.
I think what the viewers are asking is he active in the child's life? Where is he? Is he doing anything? Is he contributing? Where is the father? Why are you not together with the father? I think the viewers are really interested in knowing that. If you don't mind sharing a bit on that, please do.
Okay. Well, we've agreed to co-parent, and the reason why we're not together is that, well, when I found out that I was pregnant, we'd already broken up, and I'd moved on with my life. So when I went to tell him that I was pregnant with his child, he didn't take it. He didn't take the news pretty well. So I really wanted to give it a shot because, I was not thinking of baby, saying that we have a baby coming and I think we should give it a shot because I really wanted my child to grow up with her real father, but he didn't want to try. He was saying that it's too late, and yeah, basically that's the reason why we couldn't we're not together anymore. And he is part of the child's life, and he is very supportive. He buys
Okay.
he buys stuff for the child that she doesn't have anymore. Yeah, he's just around. He's there.
Okay, that's all right. Thank you for answering that question. And Jemima, to people who just joined us, I'm sure they're interested in
Hmm?
wanting to know, did you want or did you consider abortion? And if you consider you now have the baby, I'm guessing you didn't abort. At what point um, did you say, I'm going to keep this baby? At what point did you have that enlightenment that you're going to keep this baby, you're not going to abort the child?
Okay.
Jemima, we can't
Honestly,
hear
when I
you.
found I was pregnant, I knew that it was Troy's child. So to my mind, I was like, no, I'm never gonna keep this child. No, that's a no. I wasn't willing to go that road, honestly. So I had the thought that I think I should just remove this child. I should remove this pregnancy because Trey can't be my baby daddy.
Can you please,
It wasn't
sorry,
gonna work.
sorry, Jemima.
I knew it wasn't gonna
Sorry, I'm
work.
gonna hold you there. Can you please increase
Yes.
your voice projection, and also can you speak a bit slower so that we can really hear you? Please go on.
Okay. As I was saying, when I found out that I was pregnant, to myself, I was like, I knew the baby, I knew the father of my child. So I was like, I'm not going to keep the child because we're broken up. And honestly, I knew that we weren't going to work. I was like, this is not going to work, so I'm not going to keep the child. Because
Mm.
when I brought the news to him, he was like, you mustn't keep the child. I think you should remove it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to remove it, so you're going to give me the money. And he was like, I'm not giving you no money. That's your own piece of work to deal with, so you're going to do it by yourself. I was like, cool. I can get money anytime anyway. And even if I want now, I can get the money. So I was like, it's fine. You do your thing. You do your life. So I'd gotten to that point where I really wanted to remove it, but I wasn't going to use the safest method. So my friends were scared that maybe I could die in the process, or I could have some complications, or maybe later on in life I wouldn't be able to give birth. So they didn't want to be part of it. But then I needed some backup, you know. So on the day when I decided I was going to move it, and we planned to meet at some place, then they didn't show up. They just ditched, and I was like, why did you do that? Then they're like, at some point you're really supporting you, saying that you should remove the pregnancy, but then now we're thinking that you shouldn't, because what if you die? What if this and this happens? And that's when it really hit me. I was like, what has this innocent child done? She I had to face my problem head on. So that's when I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this. And I was not getting scared as well, because honestly, I don't want to die. I just I looked at myself and was like, I'm still too young to have such thoughts. I shouldn't kill this child. She deserves to see the world. She deserves to live. She deserves to 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 explore, to experience, this life that we're living. That's when I decided that, I'm not going to remove this pregnancy. Because my mom is a pastor. What would people really think of me if I had removed the pregnancy? Yes, I I'd gotten pregnant, but then it's better that I kept it. If I had removed it, eh, my image would have really been tarnished. I don't want to lie. And that's when I just realized that I'm pro-life.
Okay.
I'm like, so, yeah.
Okay. All right. If you're joining in the show, this is the African Data Show with Rumbidzai Mzopa from Zimbabwe in Southern Africa. Today, the topic is on teenage pregnancy. And welcome to all our viewers. Welcome to everyone in the chat room. Cindy, so are you still there? Cindy, so are you there? Okay, I'm sure she'll be just tuning in just now. Okay, we all know that with the teenage pregnancy, you'd have to either stop school for a certain period, or you can either have to drop out of school. That is another reason why people are dropping out from school. So I understand you were writing your O-level examinations when you found out you were pregnant, and you still managed to write your exams. I was listening in when you were telling us your story just at the beginning of the show, and you also said that you managed to pass with flying colors. So, with that said, I want to find out, have you been able to pursue or continue with your education, or that is something that you're planning to do, or you are having second thoughts about education? Because education is power. Um, education is power. Knowledge is power, and you can't give up on your dreams. So, do you have any plans towards your education, or for now, we are just focusing on motherhood?
Okay, that's a really good question. Um, when I went my O level, I failed math. So I'm supplementing. I want to write math next year, because basically here in Zimbabwe you can't do anything without math. Even whether you want to find a job, be it you want to continue with school, especially with what I want to do later on, um, I have to pass math first for me to do what I want to do. So yeah, I'm continuing with my education because I really want to build a good future for my child. I wanted to have everything that I couldn't have. You know, every every person in this world would want their child to live a better life and to have a better everything. Yeah. So that's why I really have to continue with school.
Okay, thank you for that. Encouraging and to hear someone wanting to pursue the education despite circumstances and winds that may come from all angles. Okay. Also on that, you are saying you felt mathematics. Do you think if you were not stressed during your exams, you would have performed better, or whichever way you were going to fail math?
Okay. I wasn't really
You
a good student
you're
in
getting
math
pregnant.
because I
Sorry,
really,
my question is: you getting pregnant and finding out that you're pregnant during exam period, did it affect your performance in your exams, or it did not?
it really did. Honestly, it did because I lost my focus. I couldn't read anymore. I was just too focused on what I was going to do, on what was ahead of me. I couldn't focus anymore. I didn't even want to read, actually. That's the point it had gotten to. I didn't want to read. I didn't want to do anything. I was just so stressed. But then I think with the knowledge that I had, that I think that's how I managed to pass some of my subjects that I passed, and only felt, man,
Okay, okay, that's all right. So, Cindy, so are you there, Cindy? So, hello, Cindy. So, are you there? Can you please unmute your mic so that we can all hear you? Cindy, so? Okay. So while we wait for Cindy so to get her mic back into the show, Jemima, can you hear me?
yeah, yes, I can.
Okay. So your family, you were saying were they quite supportive, or they've resented you? What's going on? Are they being supportive or not?
Um, my family is being supportive. Yeah, they've really been supportive, like throughout the whole situation. From the time they found out that I was pregnant up until now that Haley is here, they have been really supportive financially, spiritually, you know, they've really helped me a lot.
Okay. Okay, that's good, and that's really great. You know, when you have your family supporting you, you can overcome the world. You can overcome so many obstacles because at the end of the day, your family you can't choose. It's different with friends. Friends you can choose this one over the other one, but with family you can't choose, and that's the greatest gift we have. That was given to us. By the universe, by the world. Okay, Cindy, so are you back on now? Can you please unmute your mic? We can't hear you. Cindy, so are you back on? We can't hear you. Can you please turn on your mic? Can you hear me now? Can you see us? Can you unmute your mic? Sorry, we can't hear you. Sorry, we still can't hear you. You should unmute your mic, or maybe you can try tuning in without the earphones. I don't know. You can try that. Okay, so that is Cindy, and she's trying to tune in the podcast. Last week she was here on nutrition and mental health, and today she's joining us again. And the topic of today is teenage pregnancy. Cindy, so can you hear us? We still can't hear you, Cindy. So okay, so we still can't hear Cindy. So Keith, I don't know if you can come in and help in on that. We still can't hear her. We can't hear you, Sister Cindy. We can't hear you. Okay, so Cindy so is on the live stream, and she has to stress out on some of the challenges that are faced because of teenage pregnancy. So she's just trying to connect again. Can you hear us, Cindy? So I think her mic is still off. So I'll just speak out on some of the problems that are faced by teenage pregnancy from the parent side. Okay, while Cindy is trying to connect. So I'll just give you a rundown. Some of the problems they are facing. Teenage parents are the inability to finish school. As you heard from our guests today, Jemima, she had to put a hold on her education in order to be there for her child, in order to experience and go through the process of motherhood. Because when it comes to motherhood, you can't afford to take shortcuts. You can't afford to take shortcuts when it comes to motherhood. So she's had to experience a break from school as she had to take care of a child. Hello, Keith. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I was trying to. What happened to Cindy? I was trying to see if I can get her mic, get her mic unmuted. Had to come back in and try it again.
I'm sure maybe she's coming in a bit.
Yeah,
She's
trying to
coming in a bit.
yeah help. Hmm. Um, but I'll stay and see when she comes in. Excuse my voice. My voice. My voice is terrible once again. Young lady, I guess I want to ask this young lady. So did you being so young, did you know that? How long did you know the father of your child before you guys decided to engage in sexual relations?
Um,
Had you got
I
had
had
you guys
known him
known each other
for
long?
not really, not for a long time. It was about 6 months.
About 6 months. Okay. Well,
Yes.
you guys, like I'm talking to one of my daughters. I'm trying to be delicate here. Talking with my daughters or something. Uh, what was what was the attraction? Did you guys think not to use protection?
Hello?
You
Okay,
there?
Cindy's back on. Cindy's back on. Thank
Was
you for
protection
joining
not
in.
available?
Sorry, I didn't hear what
Yeah,
you asked.
that's in it. No, no, I'm asking, was not protection available? Protection,
Sorry,
protection. Con, I'm trying. Because I sound like your father's talking. I'm
Oh,
trying.
protection.
Because you probably one of my daughter's age.
We didn't
Protection
use
was
actually.
not. I
We
know
didn't.
my voice is. Well, I know you didn't use it because you got pregnant. I'm saying, was that not available? Did you guys not think about protection before you guys engaged in sexual relations? Did anybody bring that up? Listen. I'm saying, I know I sound like a father because I am a father. So I sound like a father. I apologize. Did you not? You not knowing the young man long enough, you didn't know his background. You know whether he engaged in sexual relation with other women. So you didn't know if he was carrying diseases or anything. Not only did you put yourself at risk. Let me get out of here because I'm sounding. Everybody sound is back. Let me stop because I'm about to. Because if this is my daughter, this is what I would be saying. I'd be highly upset. Let me get out of here. Let you guys do your thing. Let me get out of here. Let me get out of
Okay, it's
here.
fine. It's fine, Keith. Thank you
All right,
for coming in.
all
Thank
right, you guys. Yeah, because I'll make the conversation go completely left. You guys go.
you.
Um,
Okay, so Cindy, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, welcome to the African Duchess Show with your host, Rumbidai Mzopa from Zimbabwe, Southern Africa. Cindy, how are you? How was your day?
I'm well, thank you, Rumbi. My day was good, exhausting, but I'm alive. How was yours?
It was quite okay. It was quite okay. Can't complain.
Good.
Okay, Cindy, you were with us from the beginning of the show, and today the topic is on teenage pregnancy. You are a nutritionist, and also I know that you studied and did biochem, so you have a bit of knowledge also into the medical field. And I wanted to ask you, I have two questions for you. Maybe you can answer them at once, or you can decide to group them into two, like as I'd planned them. But then the
Okay.
questions are really as follows. What are some of the problems teenage pregnancy parents face?
Okay. All right. So I really am g- glad that Jemima made the right call by not removing the baby and by not, you know, um, going through that process, because not as a scientist or as a nutritionist, but as a human being, as a girl as well, I understand the um, the emotional effects of making such a decision. It's not an easy decision to to decide whether you want to have the baby or not. So she I I applaud her for making the right call and keeping the baby, because I believe babies are innocent and they have a right to life. But getting back to your question again, the challenges that are faced by teen moms, teen parents, as she mentioned, it's like a whole shift in your life, like from the things that you're used to doing to having this whole a whole human being, trusting that you're going to take good care of them. You're now responsible for a whole human life. It's a big responsibility. And I mean, kudos to all parents for 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 having kids, because it's a long road, and there are no breaks, there are no pause buttons. Once the baby is there, it's ongoing. You keep having to face whatever you have to face and move forward. right? So some of the challenges that she has mentioned that, you know, in terms of the her development as a young woman to become a mother, like the body changes drastically. So it explains, you know, the changes that she's noticing on her body, like the weight loss, and naturally breastfeeding is known to shed a lot of weight. So if you're a new mom and you want a natural way of losing weight, you know, breastfeeding is the way. So if then, but then it also needs to be monitored, because then you can't lose too much weight if you're not taking in enough nutrients and you're losing you know, a lot of them during breastfeeding. You find that you may then become underweight, and this may affect your health, because you're not having enough nutrients to make up for the ones that you're giving out. So it's important that the new mom takes a good look at her nutrition. What is she eating, and what does her body need? What is her body telling her? Because your body will tell you that if you're if you're dehydrated, you'll need water. You need to drink water. If you're in need of a certain nutrient, your body will tell you. So it's important to go for those checkups and take care of your health and also your emotional well-being. It's overwhelming to become a mom at any age. I think, despite being a teenager or an adult, you know, it's overwhelming to be a mom at any age. So now that you're a new mom and you're a teen, chances are there's maybe you're still living with your parents, you're still living with your guardians, or maybe you, if you can move into your own place, there's still so many challenges that you might face, even discrimination from the society. Like people will judge you, people will look at you in a in a funny way. Those are some of the things that you have to accept and move on, because if you let them get to you, um you will, you'll constantly be thinking everyone is out to get you. So again, to Jemima for sharing her story, well done, and thank you for sharing all your experiences. Those are some of the things that you can't imagine a 16-year-old going through, like, you know, um being expected to do all these new things, being expected to be responsible for, maybe sometimes you're expected to be responsible for your guys, the baby daddy's family, you know, because they're like, oh, our new daughter-in-law or whatever. Already those responsibilities are going to pile up on you, on top of being pregnant, on top of the morning sickness, on top of, you know, it's just a whole pile of things that you go through. So I think these are some of the challenges that um, new moms face anywhere in the world, whether you're in, you know, in Zimbabwe, in, I believe anywhere in the world, these challenges will always, you know, they'll always be there.
Okay. Thank you, Cindy, so for that insight. And also, let's say during the pregnancy, there are also dangers because we're talking about a teen. This is someone who is below the age of 20. You don't know much. Maybe you missed the bio lesson, so literally don't know much, right? And there's some diseases or situations that may arise during your pregnancy. Can you please just highlight a few so that if someone is listening today, they can learn or they can share with the next person tomorrow, because we are all about changing and reducing certain impacts from happening in the future. We are here to shape the future. Me and you right now, we're above 21 and all, but still we have the generations that are coming, and they really need to know the long term effects or certain things that they can experience. So this is like a learning cave. So what are some of the risks that are faced when you are that you can face when you're pregnant? Like when you're actually pregnant, what are some of the risks that you can face?
Okay. Thank you, Rumbi. So I like what you said, that we are shaping a new generation, and knowledge is power. It's so important to have knowledge, to know all these things even before anyone decides to have a baby, planned or unplanned. It's important to know the risks of pregnancy and beyond. So, as you mentioned, that risks are there. There are risks during pregnancy, um, in the course of the 9 months that you're pregnant, even after the baby is born. So, I'll give an example of one of the most common um, risks that are there for teens, especially teenage pregnancies, are associated with cervical cancer, because it's believed that the cervix is still not as fully developed as it should be. If you become sexually active at a young age, the cervix is not yet ready to carry
To it to
a
withstand
whole
so much pressure.
withstand. Yes, so the risks of cervical cancer is higher in teenagers as compared to someone who's much older. So these are some of the risks. And even the body, the womb, it's still fragile, it's still developing. So the risks of having um, pregnancy complications during childbirth, they're high as well. And even in terms of um, emotional and mental well-being, I always love to talk about issues on wellness and the mental health, because it's it's so psychological to then think of these things. Like, when, for example, if you know that I have the risk of getting cervical cancer, you'll make better decisions. You'll know that, okay, maybe I'm not ready to engage in sexual relations. And if you know that maybe my body is not yet physically strong to withstand childbirth or carrying a baby, it's important to know all these things, even knowing what to eat, because during pregnancy, there are certain foods that your body will definitely need, certain nutrients that your body will need. And if you are maybe hiding your pregnancy for maybe at least 5 months, you're the only one who knows. You're not going to be able to request for the foods that your body needs, because you're scared to tell your mom that, okay, I really want peanuts because my body is telling me I need to eat peanuts. I really want this. You can't tell anyone. So in the end, you suffer and um, you don't get the right nutrients, and then that can affect the baby as well, right? So these are some of the things that will consequently affect the baby, because the baby is going to be starved of the nutrients that they need. But if the baby is planned for, obviously you're going to go for checkups, you're going to go and see your gynecologist, you're going to go and have antenatal care. You're going to be told that your baby needs this at this stage. You should take supplements for iron. If you need them, you should drink this. You should, at least that way you're constantly in check for everything that your body needs, right? And you have the emotional support from your family, from your partner, from everyone around you. They won't make you do things that will harm your baby. You won't be forced to carry heavy things, because they know that this person is pregnant. So I think it's always important to have the knowledge and the information that is necessary when you want to have a baby, or when when you then find out that you're having a baby. It's best to open up about it at the beginning, before you harm both you and your baby.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Cindy, for that. And also, um, thank you, Jemima, for sharing your story. To the chat room, if you're tuning in, this is the African Data Show with Rumi Zopa from Zimbabwe in Southern Africa. So, in wrapping up the show, I'm gonna go a bit harsh on these teenage girls and these lovely sweet sisters of ours. So, no offense, no offense. This is just basic education. Thank you for tuning in today on the African Data Show. The topic being teenage pregnancy. Okay, I'm just going to stress out a bit on ways we can reduce teenage pregnancy. First and foremost, there's need to be a full course on sex education, be it in high school, in college. These are things we should really stress out on. If needs be, we need to have a syllabus on sex education. I come from an African family. It's hard for a parent to be telling their child to practice safe sex, because that's something that's like a taboo in our culture. Okay, parents never educate their children on sex education, and they always leave it to the aunts. Usually, we call them tete in our African culture, in the Zimbabwean African culture. We call them tete. So the aunts, usually they're the ones who are responsible for sex education on their nieces and nephews. But over the years, because we've lost our roots, we've lost our culture, they are also now ignoring the issue of sex education. And also, our aunts, some of them have migrated back to the rural homes, and just generally people, um, the generation of today, some of them, they, especially those of the 20, of the children born into 2000s, they, I don't know, I think they were born with earplugs, because they haven't been listening at all. But then it has been the duty of the aunts, from way back from the 90s, to give sex education to their nieces and nephews. But then it hasn't been like that. So there's need for sex education. Why? Because we do not want a generation that keeps on going that route. Okay, everything in your life needs to be planned. The same way you plan your day, tomorrow, your schedule for the weekend and whatnot, is the same way you should plan for your pregnancy. We need to tell our sisters, we need to tell our young ones, we need to tell our peers, we need to tell our relatives, we need to tell our classmates, our schoolmates. We need to be talking about these things, about the sex education. Keith was just here and he was saying that he was feeling like the our guest on the show, he was seeing his daughter. So I'm sure as he was seeing his daughter, he can imagine, there are certain things that you say, you know what, I could have told my daughter about this. We don't want for you to regret on certain decisions that our children are making or our sisters are making. We need to tell them exactly on the sex education. Earlier this year, I went to labor ward, where they give birth, where pregnant women give birth. The experience, it was horrible. The experience was horrible. Watching a woman give birth is the worst experience ever. And I say to myself, you know what? If I get a chance again to be back in this labor ward, because at that time I was scary and I couldn't get hold of my phone. These are the things we should record, because when you give birth, you go through a lot of pain. Okay, the the vagina stretching and all. These are the things we should really document or record, and then we give the lecturers, the teachers, to really give a lesson on giving birth, because when someone is talking, may seem like it's nothing, but when you go through the process is when the other people can really understand what you were saying. You'll be able now to understand what people were saying, because it's not an easy experience giving birth. You can lose your child. Imagine you went through those 9 months. You can lose your child, number one. You can have stillbirth. You can have a miscarriage. There are a lot of things you're exposed to through teenage pregnancy. Um, Also, you as a mother, you can die, because there will come a time when, I know at times doctors can't really decide, but they will make a medical decision to either choose the mom or the child. And those are really tough decisions, but at times you can be unfortunate, and then the baby is given birth, and you won't get to see your child grow up. You don't know the future of a child. You don't know who's going to look after them, because when you're not there, I promise you, people will just take care of your child whichever way they want. So we really need to be talking about these things. We need Parents, we need to educate our kids on sex education. We need to have a personal relationship with our kids. When your kid gets their first kiss, when your kid, those experiences teenagers go through, they should be able to communicate with their parents. Yes, I know it's very hard, but when you have a personal relationship with your parents, there's certain things that can be avoided, because then my parents, they taught me on sex education, they taught me on this, they taught me on that, so I can't really disappoint them. I think there's need for sex education. It should really be part of our system. Should be part of our system, right? If I advise you to abstain from sex, it's obviously no one would listen to me. But well, it's better safer than sorry. The moment you start opening your legs, right? I'm speaking on the woman's side. The moment you start opening your legs, you need to be mentally prepared for what's coming. You need, it's an automatic, um, what can I say? Automatically, you have to be responsible. You have to be responsible. We should not let our emotions cloud your judgment. I know we've been in love, and we're still gonna fall in love, but we also need to know that the moment we start having sex, it comes with certain responsibilities. At times, you might not get pregnant, but you might get an STI. And there are certain STIs that are curable, and there are some that aren't curable. You can be exposed to gonorrhea, you can be exposed to herpes, you're exposed to a lot of things. Okay, so as long as you're above 18, this is advice to you. Please practice safe sex. Practice safe sex, okay? Because it benefits you in the long run. Because you want to live up until you're over 50 and whatnot. But if you don't practice safe sex, you will not exceed 25 years of age. That I can promise you. Because there'll be a lot of things you'll be exposed to. We really need to have sex education. I repeat, please, let's not be shy to educate our sisters. Let's not be shy to educate our little brothers. Even for the guys, you need to advise your kids, the male side, to wear a condom because you are meeting people from different places. Okay? You don't know the people they've been with and the people that are going to come before you or after you, whatever, whichever way you take it. We should not you should not just not give the kitty cat easily like that, you know. You when you start saying, you know what, let's say we now want, usually when people start having unprotected sex, I think those are people either were married or who are engaged or who have eloped. I don't know. But then, as long as you are a girl and a boy, tomorrow you can just wake up and it's normal. Tomorrow you can just wake up and you guys have broken up. So imagine you guys have broken up. You fall pregnant, you have an STI. You've got a lot of things that really come in your mind. So it's better safer than sorry, okay? It's always safer than sorry. Trust me on that one. Because having unprotected sex, it comes with a lot of emotional attachment. If you didn't know, it comes with a lot of emotional attachment. So imagine you have unprotected sex with Peter. You have unprotected sex with John. You have unprotected sex with what are the common names? Okay, you have unprotected sex with Lewis, with ABC, Mr. ABC. You can imagine the emotional attachments you are carrying all your life, all your life, all your life, all your life. So please, I advise you that parents educate your children on sex. In as much as we don't want our children to have sex, it's happening, whether you like it or not. When you right now, it's just that there's this pandemic and we're all staying at home. So maybe you have like a certain assurance that your kid isn't up to no good. But well, it doesn't take a lot of time to have sex. You'd be surprised. That time when you go to the grocery store, your child can bring in someone 2 minutes and they're gone, and you think your child is my child is not doing is up to no is perfect is whatnot, but well, educate your child, educate your child, educate them on dating, educate them on relationships, because if you don't do that, no one will do that for you. Okay, it's better to know what you're getting into before you are now at risk, or before you are now in danger. So I really advise you out there, to the older ones, to the people, to the elders, to everyone who's listening in and tuning in on the show, advise your children, advise your sisters, advise your little brothers, your nieces, and your nephews on sex education. It's really important. And also on the use of condoms, because they protect you. And also, I wouldn't advise putting condoms like in the toilets of kids. I don't advise that, because when you go to school to learn. So just learn. It's only for a short time that you are at school. You right now I'm what? I'm 23, 24, right? I'm already done with school. Fine, I can choose to pursue my studies and all, but right now I'm done with school. It wasn't so much. It was hard, yeah, but then imagine if I had to deal again with the many things that other people are dealing with at such a young age, you know. So when it's time to school, go to school. When it's time to play, play. When it's time to go to the club, go to the club. When it's time to do what, do it. Do everything like you're supposed to do at a certain stage. If it's the stage where you have to go to the club, don't say that I just told you to go to the club. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying each stage comes with certain responsibilities, certain fun, certain activities. So don't miss out on certain activities because of certain circumstances, right? You can imagine with our sister what she was saying. She got discriminated by her friends, right? Um, you can't wear the clothes you'd want to wear, like your crop top, your sexy shorts, your whatnot. You can't do that anymore. And time lost is never regained, right? It's never regained. So enjoy your youth, enjoy your teenager, enjoy whatever phase you're experiencing right now, be it your marriage, be it being single, be it dating relationship. Enjoy it while it lasts, and enjoy, because that stage will pass and then you get into another stage. Right now we are all grown-ups and all. There was a stage when we used to play with toys. Right now, if you see me, a 23-year-old, playing with toys, you would think I'm mad, because I'm past that stage, right? So everyone, I advise you to enjoy your life in stages. Do not rush to Z without experiencing letter K, letter J, letter M, letter N, because at the end of the day, we do not want people committing suicide. I know people who've committed suicide on finding out they were pregnant. I was in uni, so some of these things I'm talking from experience. Usually, the first year students who just come into uni, some of them they experience unwanted pregnancies and all. I always say this: I'm not bright. Please, I am not bright. I'm not bright. But if there's one thing, you don't just get pregnant, because the moment you start having unprotected sex, it can only mean one thing. Okay, so um I don't call myself a saint, right? Please note, I'm not a saint. But all I'm saying is the moment you open doors to something, it comes with responsibilities. It's like going for an interview or a work at work. Once you get that job, you can't be waking up at 10. You can't be waking up at 12 midday like you used to. It comes with responsibility. So everything you open the door to comes with responsibility. I've seen first year students getting abortions, and some of them they are not lucky. You know, it's not everyone who's lucky. Some of them they die. Imagine you're not happy that your children is now into grad school, whatnot and whatnot, and then boom, they come back in a coffin instead of bringing back a certificate. So there's a lot of stuff going on out there, and it's up to us. It's up to you as the woman. I'll tell you this: as long as you are with a good guy, if you are not ready to have sex, right? Then tell him straight up. Don't have sex out of peer pressure. Don't have sex um, just because you want to have sex. No. because sex comes with commitment. You need to have it with one sexual partner. You need it comes with a lot of nitty gritties and all. So if you are not ready to have sex, please do not indulge. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold. Do not indulge in sex if you're not ready to have sex, because it comes with a lot of responsibilities. It's like I said, the example of going to work, it comes with a lot of responsibilities. Sorry, I've been talking for a long time. Can we just go through the comments from the chat room? All right. I'm just going through the comments from the chat room. Okay. This conversation is heavy. Okay. Then from Singobile Moyo, to keep the baby, and God bless your friends. Yeah, that's true. I am pro-life as well. I don't approve of abortion. That was coming from Keith. Someone earlier on the show asked who's Keith. Keith is the man behind. Keith is the man behind the show. Where is the father? I'm sure she answered on that as well. Okay, the father is supposed to be there to help raise the child. Okay, I agree with you on that. I love me some Cindy. She is a beautiful humanity. That is very true. She's got a beautiful, wonderful personality and humanity. Duchess is very responsible. Well, I disagree a bit on that. I'm not responsible, but I'm afraid. Like I'm telling you, if you had gone to that labor ward with me, hey, you won't want to get pregnant. Trust me. It was such a horrible, horrific experience. Giving birth is just the worst. Oh, when I give birth, you guys, I don't know. It was just, I'm scared. I'm really scared. So I don't want to put myself in a compromising position. And also, there's certain goals, that I want, or things that I want to achieve first before I get pregnant. It's not being responsible. I'm just scared of the risks even more. So I'll just say, you know what? I'm not going down the road. Intelligent sister, thank you. I agree with you. Hello. Yeah, I just had to say that word. Sounds like something my grandmother would say. Okay, then from Siko, Ngobile Moyo. Thank you so much, Ngobile Moyo. You're a new viewer. Parents would also should be educated on how to handle kids, on sex education. Okay, all right. How about Suki with a good okay, Dr. Duchess, okay, PhD. Okay, that is all we had from the comment section. Thank you all for coming on today's show. Today we were talking about teenage pregnancy. We were discussing on some of the challenges teenagers face as they move into motherhood, and also during their pregnancy. On some of the ways to reduce teenage pregnancy, I think I only mentioned on sex education because that is one of the major reasons. Also, abstinence. Abstinence is number one, and also we need to educate also on the dangers associated with indulging in sex. So that is all we had today. Thank you all for tuning in into the Duchess Show. We appreciate from the Black Hot Fire Network. We appreciate our viewers. We appreciate your comments. And we would also like to thank Jemima, who came in and really shared her personal experience. If you were there from the beginning of the show, it was quite touching what she was, the things, the challenges she went through, and the traumatizing experience. It's really a thing out here in Africa, getting rejected by the guy's family. Soon as you become pregnant, they start rejecting and resenting you, something that should not be allowed to really grow in us, because one day you will also have a daughter. You also have a daughter, and they go through a lot. I do not condone this, but everyone is human, right? Yeah. So would like to thank Cindy So, who also shed light on some of the risks we face. On that also, I think she also left high blood pressure that can really come as a result of stress and depression. And high blood pressure really affects your pregnancy. You could give birth to a still baby, because once you have high blood pressure, it also exerts onto the child, and it could damage them or damage you. So also take in mind that this is the African Duchess Show. Thank you all for coming in and tuning in onto the show. Tomorrow we'll meet again here at 10, same time, same place, at 10 p.m. Central Africa time. Um, Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for tuning in. Oh, I see someone is saying that said, yeah, it's quite a sad story that she was sharing. It's quite a sad story, and on how sometimes they would not feed her just so that she could go back to her parents' home. They would not feed her. They would just treat her like a slave. And you can imagine, she was pregnant and she was getting such a treatment from people who her own daughter, or who her unborn child would call in-laws or family later on. So yeah, these are some of the things that are happening in Africa right here in Zimbabwe, and it's not really something that is acceptable. Then people do it anyway. So tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow we've got another exciting topic. Tomorrow we'll be talking on relationships. So if you feel like there's something that we really need to stress out, so yeah, tomorrow we'll be talking on relationships, and we'll have a lot of guests on the show. So don't miss out tomorrow. We'll be back here on the African Duchess Show with your host, Rumbi Zaimzopa from Zimbabwe in Southern Africa. Shout out to the Black Hot Fire Radio Network, who's making this show happen. Shout out to the man who's behind the scenes, the brains of the show, Kit. And shout out also to my colleagues, Spikes and Kalmi. This was the African Duchess Show. I'm signing out. Thank you all. Good night to those who are in their afternoons. Have a good day. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll meet again tomorrow. Good night. I'm out.
I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. You know it, you know I'm killing it. Giroto, 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 giroto. Giroto, 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 giroto. Dirimoto. I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. You know it, you know I'm killing it. See, I own this flex, work hard, pay tax. Put it in my pocket, I don't lie, and that's facts. Thick skin, so clear. Rock white hair, got thick, got fat, can't catch me in the air. Pineapple, ding double. Did myself down, but I think double. Moving low, low, take control. What did I did it? I will find it good, though. What time I'm gonna cruise on before me? Baya, omera. Take a side, reaching go back to mirror. Take me down, baby, watch your pen now. Giroto, 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 giroto. Dirimoto, 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 dirimoto. I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. You know it, you know I'm killing it. Giroto, 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 giroto. Giroto, 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 giroto.